the Tompioletwe border post in northern Rakhine State. An immigration officer shows us lists of the Rohingya refugees his government had approved last month. They want the world to understand how ready they are to have at least some of them back, though so far they've had no takers. Well, we've been allowed to come right up here to the border with Bangladesh, and it's through these rusting gates that Myanmar officials say they were expecting hundreds, even thousands of Rohingya refugees to come under the latest repatriation scheme, but of course without any promises of citizenship, without any real investigation into the abuses they suffered, and most of all, without any reassurances about what kind of future they have. We know that at the moment none of the Rohingyas over there on that side of the border are willing to make this crossing. If significant numbers of Rohingya refugees do decide to come back, this is where they're likely to spend at least their first 2 months. It's a transit camp, and as you can see, it would be pretty basic living. It's also fenced in with watchtowers and armed police, and it's unlikely they'll be free to come and go. But most of them will not be able to go back to their villages because they've not just been destroyed by the violence of 2 years ago, but they've continued to be demolished even since then. In fact, this very camp is built on the site of what was an intact Rohingya village that was then bulldozed. Satellite images showed two relatively undamaged settlements at the end of 2017, which within a few months are flattened to make way for the transit camp. Yet the camp administrator seems unaware of this. Why did you destroy the village, the Muslim village that was here, to build this camp? There's no village in this area, he said. There are no villages where we built the camp. 2 years ago, at the height of the military campaign against the Rohingyas, I was able to film a Muslim neighbourhood called Myotuji, which had just been burnt. Today, on exactly the same stretch of road, there's a newly constructed government complex instead. Myotuji has completely vanished. We were also shown a relocation camp, where returning refugees are expected to live, closely monitored by the security forces. There is a large new police barracks close by. Here too, satellite images show that a Rohingya village was demolished to make way for it. This is perhaps the strangest part of this tightly controlled government trip. They brought us to a village called Indin, which is notorious for a massacre of 10 Muslim men in September 2017, and for which 2 Reuters journalists went to prison after investigating it. Now, they brought us here, showing us scenes of ordinary life, to stress that it's all peaceful and harmonious now with the non-Muslim population. But if you come over here, behind this barbed wire fence is where the Muslims used to live. There's no trace of them now. They've constructed some kind of government barracks behind there, and it's quite clear that the Muslims are never coming back here.